Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the Talisman tally ticker herself, Sandy Reevy.
Tally ticker?
And it is episode 277, November 13th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we start off today with a new moon at 20 degrees of Scorpio.
By a chance.
And Sun opposing Uranus retrograde.
So, you think you're all that?
November 15th, Wednesday, Mercury sextile Venus.
Invites are arriving.
Then Sandy's Astro-Interesting day, November 17th, Friday, Mars trine Neptune retrograde.
Host or go to an art show.
And Sun trine Neptune retrograde.
Inspiration.
And Sun conjunct Mars.
The Cazimi of this, physical action.
Then in Talisman times, we have one upcoming talisman, as well as the talisman of the month. On the horizon are lessons from Mercury, our November forecast and cheat sheet, as well as in our house, I'm calling in from Costa Rica, and I have some updates about my yoga teacher training. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you.
Hello, Talisman tally ticker.
Is that because I've got so many personal tasks this week and this month while you're gone?
Yeah.
And I'll have to handwrite the intention cards until you get back and to print them.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we've got Venus moving into, Venus has moved into her sign of Libra, and she's not afflicted by any of the harder planets, the malefic. So alchemists gathering this energy now.
Well, I want to go direct to all of our listeners. Thank you so much for the feedback, for the messages, for all of it. This one is from C. She says, "Thank you for the love, support, and wisdom you showed during the retreat. I am grateful for this safe space to vent and release past baggage that has overstayed its welcome. Lots of love."
Yeah,
So,
isn't that
yeah.
true? Yeah.
And they really are a wonderful time to just take a step back, realize what's going on, what we can change. And there is so many things that we can change. It's just all a choice. So letting go of that baggage.
And sometimes we need to step away from it to then look back at it. We have a distant view of it. We're not upon it, right? So yeah, that's why, again, I like the international retreats that I run. Yeah.
We love them. All right. So let's move into the transits for the week. We started off early this morning, the new moon at 20 degrees of Scorpio.
Yeah, this happened already at 3:27 a.m. And this is kind of a doozy of a new moon. Obviously, the moon and the sun needs to be at Scorpio, at 20 degrees Scorpio. But the Mars is there too. Mars, who is the ruler of Scorpio. And we've got an opposition to Uranus at 21 Taurus. But the one thing that is kind of calming this opposition down is the trine to Neptune. And this is adding a little bit of dissolving solvent on it, right? Soothing balm, kind of watering down, calming this down. And I like to call this by a chance, buy a ticket. It's the only possible way to win, right? It's the only way to move forward is to buy a ticket, right? So I'm about to head on an Amtrak train for 24 hours into Santa Fe. It's like, but I got to buy a ticket, right? You got to buy a ticket. Like you had to buy a ticket to get to where you wanted to go. So again, take a chance, buy a ticket. It's the only way to win, to move forward.
Yes.
And it's that Uranus in there that's like hey, it's the wild card, but hey, that old adage, I never win anything. Well, do you try?
Mm,
Do you put your name in the hat?
right.
Kind of like
Right.
that might be my next time somebody says, wow, I won, I never win. I'm like, do you speculate?
Yeah, you got to take a chance sometimes. You got to
Take
put
a
yourself
bit
out
of a
there.
risk. You take a bit of a risk.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then also same day today, November 13th, Monday, Sun opposing Uranus retrograde.
Anytime the sun is opposing an outer planet, it is retrograde. But this is, the sun is our identity, the leadership qualities. This is, our personality, it could be our ego, is making an opposition to the Uranus. And, it's kind of like there's an opposition here, right? It's like, hey, I think I'm all that, but the Uranus is like, no, you're not, right? Kind of thing.
Right. Right.
So, it's like, let others pump their chests because they're all that as well, right? So to recognize one as one, right? What is that adage? It takes one to know one, right? It's kind of looking in the mirror and seeing your differences, but knowing that in that difference, whatever it's culture, race, religion, whatever, that they're important too. So
it's kind of seeing yourself within all others too, and just knowing that we all have very similar qualities. We all have those human traits.
So, let others pump their chests, and those that are humbler than you, while you applaud their wins, right? It's just about recognizing and being aware of who's on the other side of you. You don't have to battle just because you're in oppositions, right? Yeah.
Right. Next transit of the week, Wednesday, November 15th, Mercury sextile Venus.
Right. Let's sit here for a second. So Mercury is in Sagittarius at 8 degrees. So he's ahead of Venus. Venus is behind the sun, and she's in Libra. She's at 8. So this is a sextile. These are the two attendants of the sun, right? The king. So Mercury is the messenger, and Venus is the, personal, the makeup artist, right? Or the hairdresser, or the personal stylist of the sun. And they're constantly moving around the sun. The only distance that they can get, that they're without a conjunction, right? When they're together in the sky, because that happens often. But the widest they can ever be is a sextile. So this is them looking at each other from 2 signs away. So this is kind of a rarity. But it does too mean that sweet messages are arriving. Great time to make social invites, set up your calendar. It's a great way great time to make small compromises, right? Kind of like, hey, can we agree, Mercury, can we agree if I do this, you'll do that, right? It's like a great time to make these small compromises, agreements, because it's a great way to practice for the big ones, right? Like when Jupiter comes in here and says, I want more. I need a better, bigger compromise from you. But to take a little baby steps here is just, I really like this aspect. And I personally have this aspect in my natal chart. Mercury was way over here and Venus was way over there.
Right.
And so we're making an exact sextile in my chart. So that's one reason why I really like this harmonizing aspect.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like, a little bit of distance makes the heart grow fonder between Mercury and Neptune, or Mercury and Venus. There
No,
you
that's
go.
a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's move on to the next and final transit of the week. Your
I want to hold something here. I want to go back to Wednesday, the 15th.
Okay.
Mercury is also now 15 degrees away from the sun. He has pulled up. He's moving pretty fast here ahead of the sun. And so when Mercury becomes this 15 degrees, it's called a phasis, and it means he has a voice. His voice is heard and seen as if he's a public speaker. So Wednesday, the 15th, we'll see, again, what kind of new voice shows up, in the news or the media or something.
All right. Well, so then let's move on to the next and final transit of the week, which is November 17th. This is also Friday, and this is also your Astro-Interesting day. Tell us about it.
Well, there's three aspects going on, and there's three aspects with three planets. It's Mars trine Neptune, comes in around, 3 a.m. And that's a host or go to an art show. Like it's a poetic slam, a music jam. This could be a dream. Try to ask your dream weavers before you go to bed on Thursday night to paint a picture for you. Paint an image of what motivates you. What's your next move? Because it's Mars. So there's a trine. Mars is in water, Neptune's in water. Now, a couple hours later comes the sun, because we know that Sun and Mars are about to conjoin, and so we got the sun catching up with Mars. So the sun makes a trine to Neptune, and again, that gives us our signal. Trine and outer planet retrograde means that within about 2 or 3 weeks, Neptune will begin to station direct, and actually that's December 5th. Yeah, it's kind of like a give and get, right? It's kind of like inspiration, give it, inspiration, get it. Sometimes, I know in our work that when you can have a spirit guide or a clairvoyant message, by speaking it kind of has its own breath, right? It could spur someone else on to say, oh my God, I was just thinking about that, right? And oh my gosh, why did you say that? That was so kind of by sharing inspiration, you're going to get inspiration back.
You're right.
So it's an easy blend flow.
Yeah. And then the final transit, which is Sun conjunct Mars.
Yeah. And this is the Cazimi. Sun and Mars, again, the sun moves around in Cazimi's Mars every year. However, in the chart, in the sky. However, not in Scorpio, right? When Mars gets to Scorpio at the same exact time that the sun gets there, because remember, Mars does not move around the sun. He's on his own path. So to take the sun and then Mars and then put it together. And the last time this happened was in October of 2006, was the last time that the sun Cazimi'd Mars in Mars's sign, Scorpio. The next time, check this out. The next time, that was 17 years ago, by the way. The next time we're going to get that is October 31st, Halloween of 2038.
Oh,
now,
wow.
That seems like a futuristic sci-fi movie that, we can't even fathom that. But that's 15 years away from now, right? So, you'll be 50.
I will.
So what this means in this Cazimi period, in fact, this is my talisman that I'm getting, that we'll talk about in a minute. And I hope this talisman goes before in a pre-sale, because this is about protection, right? but we'll talk about that when we get to talisman times. But what this means on this Friday is this physical action is coming from within. It's like coming from source, coming from soul source. So, which it has the best advantage, not when we're doing a reactive Mars, but when we're honing in the chakra, right? That solar plexus chakra that gets like, fired up, right? And shoots up from the inside, and not just, you did that to me, I'm going to do it back, right? It's like, I am ready for these action steps. And, again, we've got 15 years to wait to get this, fired up energy source of Mars. So really strongly use it. And I'll talk about it when we get to talisman times. That's maybe one of the top 4 talismans I'm asked about is a protection. And they sell super fast. Yeah. I wear mine anytime I'm on the road, I'm on a trip, I'm getting on planes, I'm going into foreign countries. I wear mine often. So we'll talk about that. But anyway, that's the week.
Awesome. Well, let's move into talisman times then, shall we?
Yes.
So no finished talismans. However, there is this one upcoming that we were just talking about, Friday, November 17th, to be protected.
This cosmic shield enables my safekeeping, acting as my armor and barrier, and as my own aegis.
Yeah. Now, that aegis is the shield, right?
It's the shield that we're very familiar with, that Athena wore or carried, that often had the Medusa's head on it, which was her protection, right? It's kind of like the shield, the aegis, and often you wear it around, your breastplate.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, I mean, this is the sun. Of course, the sun and Mars are Cazimi. They're within 17 minutes of each other in Scorpio, coming up over the horizon, with the moon in being welcomed by Mars's exaltation in Capricorn from the second house. So really strong. Hey, if you, and there's probably only less than 10 protection talismans out there in the world, that I've made and sold. So anyone that was keeping their eye out for a protection talisman, it's up on the website right now. Buy it in advance, because you'll have a little bit to say. Of course, we're going to use red, but you can say if it's large bead or small bead, and I'll let you know when it is. It's early Friday morning.
Yes. So let's move in and remind everyone of the talisman of the month for November: to build a long-standing structure. This is, I make this commitment now that holds until the end of time. Whether it is a relationship or a tangible commodity, it survives. And what a strong, commitment to make.
That's Saturn. That's Saturn in Aquarius. Again, as I said, still surprised that's here. We can't get that energy or anywhere near that energy for 27 years.
Yeah. Wow. So moving on to the horizon, we finished up our free event, which was Lessons from Mercury. This was a sneak peek into the Mexico retreat teachings for this January. I highly recommend it. I thought it was so educational, so informational about just how the signs, especially when they come through Mercury, how they react, and how we can utilize this knowledge to make that communication work and make it effective.
Yeah. And it's, I'm diving deep into the charts. Obviously I've already started the work. That's where this event came from. And I have one more space left for Mexico. Come on.
I'm there. Last time it was just 2. Okay. So Also, we just finished up the November forecast and cheat sheet that you can find on our Patreon page, patreon.com/chattingwiththestars. You can receive all of this for free with a free trial. If you head over there, you will see it. Yeah, and that, just as a reminder, for the 2024 Mexico retreat, that's happening this upcoming January 6th through the 13th. So if those dates could possibly work for you, definitely sign up for a retreat call with Sandy. That is a free 15-minute. You can ask all the questions you need. You can inquire about how this works within your chart, how this works within your own Mercury sign, and then learn a little bit more about how this retreat is going to be really beneficial for you. So let's move into our house, where we're going to wrap up our episode here. But I wanted to share a little bit of an update with my trip to Costa Rica. I'm here for 3 whole weeks, and I am challenging myself to a yoga teacher training where at the end, I'm going to walk away with a certification, a 200-hour certification of yoga.
I mean, when you think of 200 hours in a 3-week period, that's a lot of hours per day.
It is a lot of hours. It is. And it's really been wonderful. It's so crazy that today, when we're recording this, it's only day 3. And the amount of information that I have sponged up, that I have been able to repeat and reteach, is very impressive. I'm impressing myself. I'm impressed with all of this, this whole group with me here. They're all really loving, very kind, absolutely fun and funny. And you just can tell that this is like such a great group of people. We have people from mainly the States, but there's international attendees. And yeah, we're just like, we're very quickly becoming a little mini family, because we also know that we're going to be here together for 3 weeks. And yeah, I mean, just really being vulnerable. None of us have, well, I have taught a few classes, and I think there's a couple other people who have, unofficially taught classes as well. But yeah, aside from that, everyone has been a student for so long, and getting up in front of a class of all of your peers and having to take everyone through the cues is not an easy task,
Wow. Especially with the instructors honing in on you.
Right. And it's only day 3. So I think that we're all doing such a fabulous job. It's such a supportive space that everyone's really creating here. And I think that, and it just reminds me a lot of our retreats too. Everyone that I've been talking to here, I mentioned, oh yeah, I run retreats, and they're like, oh, no way. Like, yoga retreats, what are they? And I say, oh, astrology retreats. And they're like, tell me more. So I think that, everyone here is on a very similar wavelength. And when we really can convene and grow together and learn from one another, it's just such a beautiful place.
Yeah. Woo! Have you been to this area of Costa Rica before?
No. So this is Playa Coyote, and it is quite remote from all of the other places that I've been to in Costa Rica. But yes, it's absolutely beautiful. We basically have like our own little private beach.
Where'd you fly into?
Liberia. And then it was like, it turned out to be like, so it was thunderstorming and like lightning. And we're driving through all these, like big mountainous hills and tight little turns. And some of the roads had, been washing away with the water that was, cascading down the mountainside. So it was a very interesting drive up here, but we all survived.
Are you north of Liberia or?
No, south.
You're south. Okay.
South. Yeah, about 4 hours south.
Oh, 4 hours. Ooh.
Yeah. The shuttle ride was a trek for a lot of people. And I just, having been here before, and I even rented a car one year with a girlfriend of mine, and we drove around all over Costa Rica. So I felt like I knew the roads, I knew the conditions of these roads before getting into the shuttle. So I was also preparing my shuttle mates for what was to come. So it's been fun.
Yeah. And now they know you're honest.
Right. Which is one of the things that we're learning. So we're not just learning the poses and how to teach a class. We're also learning yogic philosophy. We learned the history of it. Now we're going through what's called the yamas. And one of them is satya, which is honesty. It's about, speaking the truth and being genuine. And so it's all such interesting codes of ethics that all yogis follow. And yeah, I'm so excited to learn more, share with everybody once I come back home, because it's such great information. And
that's really why you went, is you wanted to expand your knowledge, not necessarily to be a yoga instructor. However, by teaching yoga in Greece and at Agialis, you came home and said, wow, that was easier than I thought. And I really enjoyed it.
I really like it. I really enjoy it. I think it's, just from not only from the benefits that I've been able to rely on, feeling calm, feeling collected, a place to really center myself and get rid of some stress, and exercise all at the same time. Yoga has been such a great outlet for me, and just to share that with others is so cool and so wonderful, because when you feel limber in your body, you can also be limber in your mind. They're so interconnected. So yeah, I'm so excited to share more and learn more. I'm only at day 3. I can't even believe it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Well, it's great.
Well, I'm super excited for you, so that you learning more means I can learn more too.
Yeah, that's true. You must. So I think we'll end here. I'll be here for the next 2 episodes, so you'll hear much more next time. So thank you everybody for listening in to this episode. Remember, we love your feedback. We love your 5-star reviews. We love you just sharing this podcast to whomever you think would love it. So thank you again, everybody, for listening, and we will see you all here next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river, wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The soul